Debbie Schmidt Module 4 Video Assessment of a TED Talk for Nonverbal Communication. I reviewed Jenna McCarthy's What You Don't Know About Marriage. She did a humorous piece for TED on different government studies and how they predict or explain marital satisfaction. And of course, there's so much fodder there. It was really, a lot of the points she made were entertaining in of themselves. She took the tack on basically discouraging you to believe the government's studies by being very sarcastic about some of them. Her delivery was almost monotone. I know that's sort of a tactic with sarcasm to give a dry, almost mundane delivery to make you see that this point is ridiculous and so on. So she used some very modulated voice tactics. Sometimes she would just speed up really fast at the end to hurry you to the point, and hopefully if it was lagging, hopefully bring some humor to it. Her points extended from one sort of extreme where a government study said that if you're thinner than your spouse, you'll have a better sex life if the women are thinner. And so that was something that she, popped up some pictures of rhinoceros and things that were just visually very entertaining. It was very clean, but it was a funny tack on that type of conclusion. And then she went on to say, some serious points like people with stable social circles, people that don't have a lot of alcohol in their relationship tend to have more stability and happier outcomes. And then she wrapped it all up by showing a picture of her spouse, who's very nice looking, and basically took another sarcastic swing at it and said, well, my chances are pretty slim because I have a good looking husband. And she was funny and things like that. Her nonverbal communication was very quiet. Her body was very still during her whole talk. She would just gesture really quickly to a PowerPoint. She didn't use a lot of hand gestures. She just had her little clicker, and most of her hand movements were just right in front of her. And that's very much how I tend to talk. I'm very sympathetic to that body language. And so it didn't distract me at all, but I didn't find that added to her delivery or her humor in any way. Her voice modulation I found a little bit distracting sometimes, that she would slow down so much to make a point that she would almost be belaboring the humor, and it would make you understand that that was when you were supposed to laugh, and then that doesn't leave you much latitude to make a decision as to whether or not it's naturally funny. And so there were points that was called for when she was showing pictures of the groom falling off the cake and making a statistical analysis about how half the marriages fail. That's not really a funny thing, but the PowerPoint pictures made it a little bit more humorous. And so she was bridging some gaps with that type of, just monotone delivery. Other times I felt like her voice was ineffective. It was very flat, almost distractingly so. And she would be in that tone for so long that you would sort of feel labored, that she was waiting very much with a pregnant pause for you to giggle. And so overall, I think that her talk was entertaining, but her verbal communication was better than her nonverbal.